You have a group of people who have effectively lived off the hard work and suffering of others, and that standard of life that they are demanding comes at the expense of those people's happiness and those people's opportunity, and they just expect this order to continue. And any threat to it, that may arise, they try to demean, they try to make it like it's not justified or something, like these grievances aren't legitimate. This can't continue forever. It just can't. And it's like we're all in this struggle because of their inability to recognize their own failures and their own impact, negative impact on a lot of other people. And you brought up Mark Halperin before in polling. By the way, I noticed Mark hasn't had either one of us on to discuss whether Anna Selfer's methodology is sound. Okay, I mean, it's such a freaking joke. And I like Mark. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. But
he's got some blind spots.
He's got some big blind spots, and that's from that's from years and years being in the space and existing in the space he has. I mean, that's kind of brings it down to what we're talking about. It's human nature. It's hard to get past those blind spots that we have, and we all have them. But not all of our blind spots hurt so many people, and that's really what it comes down to. And this generation, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about one that's in Great Britain or one that's in the United States or one that's in Canada or one that's in France. I mean, it is this entire generation throughout the Western world. The same thing we see happening constantly. They seem to not care about the hurt they're imposing on others or the damage that they've already done and how much they're going to hurt others even more by refusing to allow the people who are the victims here to try to save themselves, Mark. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. These younger generations are trying to save themselves from the shit that they have, the shitstorm that they have rustled up, and they are doing everything in their political power to stop that. And that's sad. And I bring up Mark for a reason. There was one woman, Mark had interviewed in Pennsylvania before the election, and she was undecided, and she decided to vote for Trump. And I thought it was important to highlight her because if she wasn't boomer, she was on the younger spectrum of maybe just not a boomer. She said, "I'm going to vote for Trump because the condition of the condition of other people matter." And I was just like, oh my God, if everyone thought like this woman, if everyone was as virtuous as this woman, like this never would have happened. All of this would not have been squandered. Manufacturing bases wouldn't have been demolished. Communities wouldn't have been hollowed out.
Let's not forget the corporate oligarchy too, Rich. Well, because it's so perverse. There's so many ways to think about how perverse this is. Yeah. So the boomers, so you have tech, you have the Silicon Valley people who are taking probably teacher pension money to invest in very risky alternative investments. They build Airbnb, and everybody's like, oh, we disrupted a market. Oh, it's so great. We built so much equity value. Then you have boomers buying up Airbnbs with both hands and feet, right? Then you have Zoomers unable to form families because they can't buy a house because the boomers got an Airbnb. Then you got Elon Musk saying, oh, population collapse. Everybody's got to have 10 babies because one of those babies has to buy a Tesla, but you can't afford a house because the Silicon Valley people have Airbnbs. And not only that, they're not even going to get married because all of the eligible women are on OnlyFans, and the only way they can find people is through Tinder, and they're not going to church because the church got taken over by crazy boomer virtue signalers that turned it into a progressive political action committee.